Hi everyone, welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel. Recently I finished the book 1984 by George Orwell, and it got me thinking. What are the things in that world as created by Orwell that are similar to ours? That is what I want to talk about in this video. So without further ado, let us begin. The telescreen. I'm confident that many of you have heard that our electronic devices are listening to us. Now, should that be true? Let me tell you that this concept was not new to Orwell. Even though finishing his book in 1948 and publishing it in 1949, the story already contains a device known as the telescreen, which is meant to observe us at all times. This device is described as capable of transmitting information or messages, but also receiving them. I imagine it as the TV that watches us back. This is the first similarity: the economic system. If you think there is an imbalance in the distribution of wealth, or somehow our system is unjust, perhaps you will find some parallels with the world as described in 1984 and the world we are living today. In Oceania, the main setting in Orwell's tale, the society is divided into three classes: the low, the middle, and the high. And these are identified in the book as the proles, the party members, and the inner party. The proles consist of the majority of the population of Oceania and are said to be living an inferior life than those of the members of the party, and the members of the party are said to be living an inferior life to those of the members of the inner party, who are said to have the control of most of the wealth and power in Oceania and are represented by the figure of Big Brother, if it is not even the case that they have the control of all the wealth and power in Oceania. The inner party, however, claims that the conditions of life have improved, when this is not the case. What is more, it is even said that a prole or a prole could eventually be a member of the party. In theory, this is not denied, but in practice, this never occurs. The wealth and power is held in the hands of a few. Do you think that this has parallels with our modern society? Manipulation of reality. Nowadays, with the easiness that we have to spread information, for example, through social media, we have been exposed to what we call fake news, alteration of the information, or just simply lies. Perhaps this threat has been exacerbated by the advent of AI and has left us in a position where we don't really know what is true anymore. We cannot know for sure. If you feel this world is in that place or directed to that place, you may find a striking resemblance in 1984. There, our protagonist is in charge of altering the records so that it aligns with what the party needs or wants. In other words, the very information that the public consumes has been modified, altered, or adapted by the party so that the public believes what the party wants them to believe. Lack of freedom. Finally, if you think that in the world that we live in has grown more hostile to our personal freedom, that perhaps spending time with the ones we love, doing hobbies that we like, that finding a partner has become harder because our schedules begin in the morning and finish in the nights, that learning something new has almost become a sacrifice, then let me tell you a little bit about the condition of wisdom as in 1984. The book describes a world full of pressure on the desires of the members of the party. They cannot engage freely in the activities they want. They cannot have the partners that they want. In short, they are not free to do what they want. Even opening a journal, the thing that Winston does, is considered to be a sort of crime, even though this is not stated anywhere explicitly by the party. Between our world and Orwell's, there's a difference. Those in Orwell's world know implicitly that they can do such things because that would put a radar on them by the thought police. In contrast, in our world, we are supposedly free to do what we want. What I think the similarity could be is that doing what we want in both worlds is something that is dangerous sometimes, or sometimes even not possible. That is, both societies have constructed a world where freedom of the person has been restricted, while at the same time they never officially recognize this is the case. That is, that this restriction exists. In both cases, it is an unwritten law. We are not denied to be free, but in reality, we are. As a short mental experiment, you can think of an individual nowadays that is seeking out for medical support and cannot do that because he or she does not earn enough to pay the bills that come up with medical attention, or secondly, they cannot even find the time to do it because they are so busy all day. Other people depend on them. Even though this was just a short mental experiment, you may know of someone that is going through exactly what I just described. What can we learn about Orwell's cautionary tale? And what should we do to build a fairer world? Thank you for watching this video, and please tell me in the comments down below what you think, whether you agree with these observations or not. Goodbye.